Hi. It's been a while since I've recorded anything, but here I am. I hope everyone is doing okay. So, I'm not sure how to begin this video because God bless all the children who just sneezed when I sneezed. And I'm not even gonna edit that out. So I began telling little stories that are supposed to build up to the big reason of why I'm recording these stories and have this channel. You know, I started out talking about how people can change their lives if they really wanted to. And I still believe that, very much so. I guess I'm going to get to the bottom line is I live with TBI, traumatic brain injury. I have dealt with the challenges of a traumatic brain injury. Oh gosh. I don't know for how long. I normally need a pen and paper to figure it out. Let's see. Maybe 20 years, I think. And as in my previous videos, for several of those years, I just existed. That's how I considered my life to be. I simply existed. It was very hard. Trouble walking and talking and all this good stuff. And that's how that went. Recently, I've had a lot of challenging moments again. And I was told that it's good, though it could be good to note and share all the good things that I've done. What's even more important is sharing and talking about the difficulties and the hardships that I have. And I think I'm going to have to take a little pause here as I get my neighbor's doggy. Hey, come here. Come here. Come here. Go. 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 Go.
You better stay, you stupid fuck.
Nope. Nope. You're welcome. I might have to edit that out. I don't know. But my neighbor's dog escaped. Alright, I've been told that more importantly, I have to discuss the hardships and my challenges. And that's hard for me. That's very hard for me because I don't like to cry about it. I'd rather talk about how difficult things were, but how well I rose to the better. But I realize now that it is imperative that I share with you the hardships the reality of the challenges of somebody living with TBI, at least my reality. And so things were going great, but I discovered some things that really aren't, really need to be addressed. This all started in 2020. Woo! That good old year. COVID-19. My father and I were going to go to Spain that year, but we didn't. And we still haven't. The next time I go to Spain, I can only hope that my dad goes too. Anyway, so in 2020, COVID hits. And for anybody out there who lost a loved one, my deepest condolences. I lost 27 people to COVID. It was real. It wasn't the flu or something. Anyways, excuse the dogs. I'm walking because I'm nervous. I'm turning around in circles. You know, 2020 was kind of a cool year too because I had a real amazing blessing. As far as I'm concerned, it was a blessing. I'll touch on that later, but somebody who's very dear to me contacted me after years, and that was the most thrilling, most beautiful gift I had received during all these years of my struggle. I'll get back to that because that's not supposed to be what this video is about. So I realized in 2020 that many of our that this world isn't designed for people like me, for people living with TBIs, traumatic brain injuries. You know, I acquired that in a car accident, along with my TMJ. So this world isn't really geared up for people like me because, unlike most other disabilities, you can't see a brain injury. You know when you see somebody walking down the street with a stick thing, you know that they're blind. You know that when you see people sign language signing, you know that they're deaf. You see people in wheelchairs and crutches and braces, and you know that they could have limitations. You know that they need accommodations of some sort to make their life easier, to make to facilitate their being able to do what able-bodied people can do. So that they can do it to the best of their capabilities, so that they can better the world around them, or so that they can do their best at work or in life. But there are no real accommodations, at least not readily, for people living with brain injuries. Heck, society doesn't even recognize people with brain injuries. Friends and family don't recognize people with brain injuries, really, because seeing us every day, there's no real, or seeing us from time to time, there's no real indication that we live with a disability. That's been a hard one to accept. I've never wanted to be or consider myself disabled, but I am disabled. I live with a disability that nobody can see. Nobody realizes the difficulties that I have, even on those good days. And I certainly didn't realize or want to accept that I am not the me that I used to be. I am not that person, and I will never be that person. It was hard for me to accept that I do have limitations. It is hard for me to accept the fact that I need help, and I've needed to ask for help a lot lately. So, pulling this all together for today's video, I want to say, once again, we should never judge people. We should never assume that what we see is what we are creating in our mind. What we see isn't necessarily what we are creating in our mind. People would see me and assume that I was high, or that I was drunk, or that I was stupid, or even I would do that. Learn the story. Learn everybody's story before you judge or before you assume. And that's how I'm going to finish it for now. Instead of assuming, pointing fingers, and judging people, let's pull back and if we're brave enough, let's approach people and ask them, or share with them your story, and in turn ask them to share their story. Okay, so this is the first of my new series, which is we can make a change in our lives if we want to, but there are still challenges. So, welcome to the new series. these are my challenges.